Pô, mas o jogador com a latinha mais cansada.
Mais feio? Pô, já joguei com muitos.
Eu não queria falar feio, mas
já joguei muitos, com muitos. Porra, todo respeito, Vinicius Junior.
Eu eleito, então.
Ô, Vini, eu te amo mais.
Tem que trabalhar muito pra...
2 years ago, on a viral interview, Neymar was asked to name the ugliest player he ever played with, and guess what? He said Vinicius Junior. Vinicius didn't say anything at the time, you know. He kept playing football, he won trophy, he was named Ballon d'Or favorite. He became one of the most recognizable athletes on earth. And this week, after Brazil crashed out of the World Cup, after the camera stopped, after the season ended, he quietly walked into a clinic in Goiânia, Brazil, and changed his face. The photos are everywhere right now. He's very recognizable, you know, and nobody is saying what actually happened here. So let's have that conversation, you know, because this is not a story about a footballer getting a chin filler. This is a story about what public humiliation to a man over 2 years in silence while millions of people watch. And by the end of this video, I promise you're going to see the world thing differently. So let's go. Okay, let me lay out the facts first so we are all on the same page, you know. Vinicius Junior, 26 years old, Real Madrid winger, Brazilian international, one of the top 3 players in the world for the last 3 years. In 2024, Neymar did an interview, you know, where he was asked to name the ugliest teammate of his career. Without hesitation, he said Vinicius Junior.
Feio? Pô, já joguei com muitos.
Eu não queria falar feio, mas
já joguei muitos, com muitos. Porra, todo respeito, Vinicius Junior.
Eu eleito, então.
Ô, Vini, eu te amo mais.
And that clip went viral. It got translated into every language. It became a meme. People still quote it today.
Larry, what the hell are you doing? Larry! Larry, you can't just... Oh, Larry! Oh, you're right. How did... Larry!
Fast forward to 2026, Brazil enters the World Cup as favorites, you know. Vinicius plays some of his best football. He scores 4 goals in the tournament. Individually, he was brilliant, but then Norway shocks Brazil in the round of 16. Brazil is out. Vinicius goes on vacation. And this week, mid-July 2026, photos start emerging from Brazil. Vinicius was seen with his girlfriend, and something is very different. Really different. The reports come out he had a procedure called chin harmonization at a clinic called Lumini Privilege. The clinic reportedly closed to all the patients that day just for him. His dermatologist, Alessandro, later posted about what a pleasure it was to receive him. Chin harmonization, for people who don't know, uses fillers to sculpt the jawline, you know. It changes the contour of your entire face, and the result in Vinicius' case are dramatic. Fans on X are comparing him to Jason Derulo, some barely recognize him. The internet is doing what the internet does. Memes, jokes. Is that really him? Side-by-side comparisons. But almost nobody is stopping to ask the actual question, why now? And what led here? Because I don't think this is about vanity. I don't think this is about pressure. I think this is about a very specific kind of public wound that we don't have language for yet. Let me try. Try this tough experiment with me, you know. You go to work. You're good at your job and you're the top of your field, and a colleague, someone the whole world sees as your peer, as your friend, as your equal, goes on a public podcast and when asked, names you as the ugliest person they ever worked with. Not in private, not in a moment of anger, cold on camera to an audience of millions. Then the clip becomes the most shared thing about you for weeks, then months, then years. Every time someone posts your photo, that comment shows up in the replies. Every viral moment you have, someone reminds the world what Neymar said. You keep smiling, you keep working, you keep saying the right things in press conference. What choice do you have? But somewhere inside, and this is the part I want to sit with, something is being said to you over and over by strangers for years. Something is being reinforced. Something is setting into the way you see yourself in the mirror. We have really good research on what happens to human beings on the sustained public commentary about their appearance. It's not the truth. It's not just words. It rewires on how people see themselves. It creates what psychologists call body image disturbance. And celebrities, especially athletes, are extremely vulnerable to it because their body matters, their body are their instrument, their body are their brand, their bodies are also in a very real way the property of the public. When people criticize you, you don't really recover from it. I think Vinicius didn't recover from it, I think he carried it and quietly he decided to go and change his appearance. I'm not saying this is what happened for sure, I don't know his mind, but I think we should at least entertain the possibility that this wasn't really a glow up, this was a wound finally acted on.
Here's where the story gets bigger than one athlete, because for decades the conversation about body image and appearance pressure has been almost exclusively a women's conversation. Women have been targeted by this pressure more overtly, more visibly, and for longer. But the truth we are all pretending not to see in 2026 is that men are drowning, especially young men, especially athletes and public figures. There's a whole industry now built around mere cosmetic procedure, chin harmonization, jawline sculpting, hair transplant, hyperbaric skin treatment, calf implants. Men are quietly getting this done in massive numbers, and they are doing it in secret, because if a man admits he was hurt by being called ugly, for example, or worry about his face, he gets mocked. He gets called ugly, he gets called soft, he gets called insecure. And this is what I keep thinking, because he was mocked for being ugly, and now he will be mocked for wanting to be less ugly. Where in the system, where in this system is a young man supposed to go? I don't have a clear answer, but I think the question matters. And I think it is part of why a lot of young men in 2026 are quietly falling apart, why we all pretend everything is fine. This is the biggest story I keep noticing in everything I cover on this channel, because when I did the Michael Jackson biopic video, I talk about how the industry produced a beautiful ghost of Michael because they weren't willing to sit with who he actually was, including his surgeries, his skin, his pain, the way public scotchery reshaped his face literally over decades. When I did the Dai Dai video with Shakira, I talk about how the World Cup used an artist to sell an image while flattening what a whole continent gets to look like. And here again with Vinicius, we are looking at the same exact underlying question in a new form. What does public pressure do to a human face over time? Michael Jackson's nose, Vinicius' chin, the dozen of women in Hollywood who arrive looking like themselves and looking like a filter, the men on TikTok mewing and look maxing in secret, the K-pop stars fainting on stage after 12 procedures. And the problem is we don't talk about it, because talking about it will require us to admit our complicity. We will have to admit that we are part of the machine. Every time we retweet the ugliest teammate clip, every time we mock a celebrity's before and after, every time we say she looks amazing now or he looks weird now, the machine is us, and we are grinding people down. I want to end this with something really personal because, I'm very emotional and I don't want this to be just a lecture. I hope Vinicius is really happy with what he did. I hope when he looks in the mirror now, he feels a little more at peace. I hope the version of himself he sees is the version he wanted to see. And that's what any of us wants when we make change like this. So guys, this is the end of the video. Yeah, it's a pleasure, and I have something new for you. I have a blog. The link is Christ-Yvan.com. Go and check my blog, please. I write a lot of things about me, about my life, and also about stuff like this. So go and check my blog, follow, create an account, comment, like. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what to say, but the link is Christ-Yvan.com. It is in the bio, so go and check it. See you next time. Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share it, and don't forget to check my blog. Okay, so have a nice day. Hope you're all doing great. Bye.